Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all my investors. And thank you so much for 2019. It's been a great year. We're really excited to launch some new and exciting tools for you in 2020. So I want to start today's talk. I'm going to bring you a great property with a 15% plus cash on cash return. I know you're going to like that. But before we get started, I want to just run one scenario past you that recently happened. So I get a lot of calls from past clients and people that are seeking some help with property management here in Memphis. And I just want to share one good success story with you guys. So here are just some notes of mine. So recently, November 22nd, I got a call from a good friend out of state, like many of my investors, and a property of his had just gone vacant. His current property manager said it needed $3,800 in repairs to make the house rent ready, to get it ready for that next renter. And that threw up some concerns. He said, James, I've had this property for 2 years now, and we haven't ever raised rents. My property manager says that it should rent for $1,200 per month. What do you think? So I get a lot of those calls. James, what do you think about that? And I enjoy, helping you guys. In many cases, I'm your boots on the ground. I'm somebody you can lean on just for some advice or to check out a property. If you just want a second set of eyes, my team is here and equipped to help you with that. So after evaluating the property, we had to get the keys, go out and look at the property. We were able to make the repairs for $500, $500 versus $3,800. That's a big difference. Then we cleaned the carpet for $125. And the bigger part was after evaluating the area, there were no homes in the immediate neighborhood for rent. It's a great rental neighborhood. Running some of the statistics of what other people have been renting homes for, in many cases, people that own them themselves, a hedge fund or small investor, $1,300 a month I thought was doable. So we got the house spick and span. It looked like $1 million after spending $625. And we put it out on the market for rent for $1,300 a month. So how did this all end up? First of all, that's a $4,488 difference in repairs and rent. So $1,200 more in rent for 1 year by asking for $100 more per month and having a great property to ask that amount for. And then the repairs was a $3,288 difference there. That's a $4,488 delta over the next 12 months because December 22nd, we moved in someone that works for the military. We have a great relationship with our military personnel working up in Millington. This house is 20 minutes from the naval base, but that's a normal commute in a lot of areas. Here, it wasn't too much of a commute for this gentleman to say, this is a perfect rental for me. He has savings in the bank, good credit score, highly qualified tenant. So December 22nd, we moved that guy in for $1,300 a month. If you have a property and you have some concerns, I'm not reaching out to solve everybody's problems here, believe me, but I want to be your boots on the ground. I want to be somebody you can lean on when you have questions about property management, repairs on a property. Maybe you want to sell one of your rental properties. We've had a lot of success with Foundation Property Management and our team selling investment properties for people that are looking to move into a different investment space, or maybe need to liquidate some cash to pay for a home renovation, whatever the case may be. If you have a property you need to sell, this is a great market to sell in. We have a database of investors that I've worked with personally over the years who would be very interested in purchasing your rental property. So Foundation Property Management, yes, we're here to manage your properties moving forward. If you need to talk to someone and just get a second set of eyes on something or an opinion, I'd be more than happy to work with you there. So this week's featured property is 547 Delta Road down in the Whitehaven area. It's selling for only $68,500, which is a big 16% cash on cash return. So from the website, jameswackup.com, this is the main page. You click Browse Properties to get into the vault of properties that we have available. We have a great inventory. So we have homes ranging from $68,500 to $170,000. So across the board, we have some great prices, great cash flow, fully renovated properties on this site or nothing at all. So from the website, as you all know, you click on the picture of any house, and that's going to open up the diligence vault, which will give you all the information that you as an informed investor would need to evaluate this property. Let's start with a map as usual and look at this property macro to micro. So from downtown Memphis, Tennessee, if you were to go due south, as you cross over the interstate system, you are now in Whitehaven. You see it right there on Google Maps, Whitehaven. Most people know Whitehaven because that's where Elvis lived in the 70s, there at Graceland. Graceland has seen $250 million pumped into this area for rejuvenation for the new Graceland Hotel called the Hideaway, the new Graceland Museum where you go see all of the gold records and crazy outfits that Elvis wore. But from this area, you're also 15 minutes from the International Airport, which is home to the FedEx Cargo Hub, the largest air cargo hub in the Northern Hemisphere, the second largest air cargo hub in the entire world, second only to Hong Kong. And then you're only 17 minutes from downtown Memphis, home of St. Jude, which is seeing a $9 billion investment. All of this pink area is St. Jude. Building skyscrapers to save babies from cancer is the most amazing place on earth, and a large employer as well. Not everybody that works at St. Jude is a doctor, a nurse, or research scientist. There's a lot of support staff as well. So the people that clean St. Jude, the people that work on the air conditioners, the security guards have to have a place to live. We supply homes to the Memphis workforce. James, what are you so passionate about? It's about supplying safe and clean places for the American workforce to live, the Memphis workforce to live in. All of this other pink area downtown is the medical district. So Memphis has a huge medical presence. Thank you, St. Jude, and lots of jobs there. So we're very close to major employers. One of my top areas to invest in, Whitehaven. And one of the big reasons is right down the street from this house, I represent one of the largest home builders in the world, the largest home builder in the world, D.R. Horton, who is building 53 brand new homes right here in this community called Diamond Estates. Last year, several of you purchased brand new houses built as rentals in this area. They range in the $150,000 to $165,000 range. The new construction by D.R. Horton for homeowners, average sales price $200,000. So when we are able to come in at a price point of only $70,000, wow, that is some good comparable sales. We won't be using those new construction homes as comparable sales in this case, but to know that there's a lot of money being spent in these areas, a lot of growth, a lot of rejuvenation in the Whitehaven area, downtown, of course, FedEx with its air cargo hub with $1.5 billion being invested in that right now. So lots of money in Memphis, sparking more jobs and sustainable growth here in the Mid-South. So the first thing I'll show you is the crime map for this area. It's not a heavy crime area. It's over here in the top right, you'll see it goes from light blue to dark blue. The lighter blue is what we're all striving for. And if you see these darker blue areas, just know it's a higher risk, possibly higher reward type property. But when you can get this, which is both a high income producing property, high ROI, cash on cash, and lower crime, that's probably a good thing. Other things that you'll find in the diligence vault are detailed scope of work. So this will come through room by room, piece by piece, and let you know everything that's going to be in this property. So this property was renovated not that long ago. We were able to pick it up from weary investors, what I call a lot of people that own 2 or 3 properties and they sell them. Once they go vacant, we're able to come in, finish the renovation, and move on. So this house has got an 8-year-old roof. So it's a newer 30-year architectural shingle roof, 4-year-old furnace, 5-year-old water heater, new air conditioning system is being installed. It's right at 1,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Typical Memphis rental. You'll also get this. It's called a property data sheet. So this is going to give you all the information that I have as a real estate broker available to me, now made available to you. Some of the highlights are going to be the taxes. So you see here that you're paying $550 a year in taxes on this property straight from the tax assessor. In this case, you're going to get 3 different data points, one from the Memphis realtor who entered MAR MLS data back in 2016, from the tax assessor, And then the most accurate data is going to be in this column from the last appraisal that was done on the property. So in 1996, there was an appraisal on this property, and here's the information that they put in. It even tells you who the appraiser was. And then down here, I always like to look at this one. This is the first place my eye goes when I look at this sheet, flood zone. You shouldn't be buying properties in the Mid-South that are in the flood zone. Memphis is virtually flood proof. And so if you're buying a house and it requires flood insurance, maybe just go to the next property. Are you with me on that? So this house, what you're looking for is Zone X, flood risk minimal. And what does that mean? That means that FEMA has determined this home should not flood in the next 500 years. And that means that you will not ever be required to have flood insurance. The pro forma. So the pro forma is a financial indicator that's going to show you what you should expect with a property like this over the next 5 to 10 years. So in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to get all of the expenses. So this is going to list out a vacancy. I'm going to put in a 4% vacancy on my pro formas, repairs. So this property, I'm suggesting that you hold aside 8% of the collected rent for any future repairs needed. Even though it's a newer roof, new HVAC, all those things, one day you're going to have to replace those items. So $60 a month put aside for future repairs. Insurance, so we have a group policy through Lipscomb and Pitts here in town, and then a lot of other providers do as well. One of the best insurance programs I've seen for my investors. It gives you better coverage with lower fees. They can't go wrong there. So principal and interest, so that's what you'll pay to the bank. We're basing this pro forma on a 20% down Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loan with current interest rates provided by one of our preferred lenders and closing costs that have been backed up by them as well. Management fees, so for foundation property management to manage your property moving forward, is 8% of the collected rent. So that's $60 a month. And then, of course, your Uncle Sam's got to make his money, so $45 a month paid in property taxes. The next thing we would look at is comparable sales. So I have a whole folder in the diligence vault dedicated to comparable sales, because you want to know that you're buying a property that is priced properly in the beginning and not be surprised by the appraiser moving forward, right? So here we have 3 comparable homes selling from $65 to $76 per square foot, which gives us an average of $72 per square foot. If we multiplied 72 times the square footage on this house, it's going to come right out at 71,000 and some change. And if you remember, we're asking $68,500 for this house. So it's priced properly as a turnkey property. And then down below, you're going to get a map, and it's going to show you where those comparable sales are. Now, you want the comparable sales to be in the same age range, same square footage and bathroom count range, but the vicinity of these comparable sales is important. All 3 of our comparable sales here are within the same neighborhood. So there you go. Same neighborhood, ideally, same vicinity is what an appraiser is going to look at, same age range, same bathroom count range, same square footage range. So you're not going to take this 1,000 square foot home and compare it to a 2,500 square foot home. You're not going to take this house and compare it to a house 4 miles away either. So if you ever see a provider showing you homes way away, maybe a little yellow flag on that. Next, let's talk about our preferred lenders. First, I want to talk about why we have preferred lenders. Recently, we've had 3 closings not happen in a timely manner, and the buyer upset, hey, James, why aren't we closing on this house? Well, it's the lender you chose, and they're not one of these 3 lenders. James, I've got vacation coming up. I've got all these things. I thought this was going to be a smoother process, and the whole hang-up was not using a preferred lender. Our preferred lenders are going to bend over backwards to make this happen for you. They're going to do what they say time and time again. They're going to deliver consistently. That's one of the biggest reasons. Now, as the seller, it hurts me as well to be able to go out and buy more properties to renovate and sell to you, my investor friends, if we don't have a consistent workflow. I can't get Quicken Loans on the phone. I can't get Bank of America on the phone. Any of our preferred lenders are going to pick up the phone or call me right back if I have to leave a message same day. So it's like having a teammate on your team and on my team. That's why we need preferred lenders. So if you don't have a preferred lender already, ready to go when you're ready to buy a property, reach out to me and my team, reach out to these guys. All of their information is in each diligence vault. All you have to do is click on that folder. It'll give you a PDF with all of their contact information. We also have several people wanting to buy each of the properties that come available on the site. So as the seller, one of my properties, I'm gonna have to say, look, here's somebody approved with Quicken Loans or Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I'm sure they're all great companies. And here's somebody qualified with Joe McBreen over at Cross Country. As a seller, I'm more inclined to go with that person who's working with a lender that we're familiar with and is familiar with Memphis investment market. Enough about that. The next thing in the folder is going to be Rentometer. If you haven't heard of this company, it's a pretty reliable source for gathering. We talked about comparable sales, comparable rents. This is how you get your comparable rents. It shows you the data of what's renting in the area. This little gauge here is kind of cute, but it'll show you, what's the likelihood of renting the property. I don't mind getting over here into the red quite a bit because our properties stand out. But 75th percentile on the property like this one, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in this area, it's going for $831 a month. We're targeting the rent at $750. Maybe I need to raise that a little bit looking at this data. But the numbers are great. We'll be able to get an awesome tenant in here at $750 a month, and it's going to cash flow huge. So let's go back to our pro forma. The cash flow is 16.55%. Come on, guys, if we can't live with that on a newly renovated property, something is wrong. So you have your diligence vault. If there's any questions you have that aren't answered in there, from the website, call the phone number or click on this button that says talk to an advisor and schedule a time. It being the holidays, this is a pretty crazy month, so there's not a lot of availability. Coming into January, we have some more availability to jump on a call with me and discuss different properties. Lastly, let's talk about Foundation Property Management. Foundation was founded because my investors kept saying, James, I want to buy more properties from you, but my biggest hang-up is post-sale. I need someone who's responsive. I need somebody that's aligned with my interests, which means raising your bottom line and making a more passive income. So we started this company, Dawn Kennard and I, just to manage properties for my investors, that's you, as if they were my own. That means every decision, everything, all communication is brought to you as if I own the property myself. So my team is here to keep you up to date, live with what's going on with your properties, good or bad. Find the best solution, just like the gentleman who had the property go vacant, needs to find a new tenant. He's like, James, what would you do if this was your property? Well, I certainly wouldn't go the $3,800 in repair route, and I would ask for $1,300 a month. I loved helping people with those success stories. It comes back in a big way because now he's out there on the golf course talking to his friends, telling them, man, you ought to talk to this bald-headed guy in Memphis named James. He takes care of me. He treats the properties as if he owns them himself. And I just know that year over year, as we continue to bring that kind of service to our clients, there will never be a demand for me to go out and do some big marketing campaign. Your referrals mean everything to me. And I'm so humbled and honored that so many of you chose to work with jameswalkup.com and Foundation Property Management in 2019. 2020 is going to be exciting. Just in the past 60 days, we have brought over 44 properties to our management from other companies. If you have a property, you want better property management. If that's your big hang up, schedule a time to talk with Dawn and I. Go to foundationpm.com, call 633-1484, speak with one of our specialists who would be more than happy to help you in any way. And thank you. Happy holidays. Talk to you guys soon.